Hi all, welcome back to Fig and Thistle Books. I'm Amanda and today we're going to do a book haul. These are the books that I was given or purchased in November and December because, who doesn't love a good book haul? And I actually wanted to do a book haul in December of these books, but I was waiting till after Christmas and then we found out we were moving and then the books were packed. And so now I have my bookshelves are all set up. Everything was easy to find. I was able to pull the books and talk with you about them today. Side note, I had a very crappy weekend. We had a major family emergency that has thrown me in a bit of a tizzy. But I'm trying to do the things I love, like film videos and talk about books, despite things kind of being in an uproar. And I woke up Sunday feeling pretty crummy and went to the doctor and had strep throat and an ear infection. Like, adults get ear infections? What the heck? So, I'm going to try my best not to cough or lose my voice too much. And I've got, Earl Grey and an adorable owl mug to help me make it through. But if I dip out or I go into a coughing fit, sorry. Sorry ahead of time. Okay, so the first 4 books are books that I picked up in Dallas, Texas when I went to the Library Marketing Communications Conference and I stayed with my good friend Andy from Estella's Revenge and we met up with Susan in Texas. I will link her Instagram down below. And we went book shopping and I picked up 4 books. I think one of the books was one night just Andy and I went to a smaller half-price books. And then a few nights later, we went to the giant half-price books with Susan. So these are the 4 books I purchased in November. And I would have purchased more, but I was trying to be wise and think about, like, my carry-on and stuff like that. So, all right, the first is Joanne Harris's Sleep Pale Sister. Joanne Harris is an author who I have not read yet, but I collect her novels because I know I'm going to love them. And I have so many people tell me that I should read Holy Fools, I should read Gentlemen and Players, and they are on my TBR, but I'm waiting because I feel like I'm going to love them so much. I need to wait until I can totally immerse myself and enjoy them. That's a weird thing to do. Does anybody else save books that they really think they're going to love for when they're like slumpy or when they want to like race through something or they get worried about reading the most perfect book at the wrong time and ruining a good thing? Are these just weird anxiety thoughts that only I have? Let me know. Let's talk. Okay. Pause. God bless Earl Grey. Okay, so this book looks to be like kind of a chilling gothic tale. There's a young bride named Effie. There's kind of sounds like a mentally unhinged weirdo artist. I think it says it has suspense, terror. I think it's going to be gothic-y. Is it paranormal? Is it not? It kind of, the description and, the title, it kind of reminds me of like a Sarah Waters novel. And we all know how much I love her. So we're going to look at that. Oh, look at this. Okay. A hauntingly evocative laudanum dream of a novel. I'm going to love it. Next, I found on the shelf of half-price books a Persephone modern classic, which I snatch these up whenever I find them, and I never find them in used bookstores, ever. In fact, I never find them in new bookstores. This is R.C. Sheriff's The Fortnight in September. Who wants to look at the beautiful end papers? Oh, they just, man, they make a good book. Okay, let's see here. What's this one about? I just grabbed it. I was like, oh, Persephone, mine. Mr. Stevens was a clerk. He lived in Dulwich in a house with a garden cut short by the railway line. With him lived his wife, his grown-up daughter Mary, his nearly grown-up son Dick, and his schoolboy son Ernie. They kept a cat and a canary. Every September, the family went for a fortnight's holiday to Bognor. They stayed always in the same lodgings. Mr. Sheriff takes us there with them, lets us stay the fortnight, and see them off at the end. Satire, fresh, human goodness and understanding, beautiful sympathy for each character, pretty details. This looks like it's going to be a cozy, a humorous, cozy kind of read. And sometimes I just need those. I want to curl up with something cozy. And so that will do it. So one day remind me to tell you the story about a Okay, I'll tell you right now. So originally, my youngest daughter's name is Persephone, and her middle name is Jane. Persephone Jane, after my 3 favorite Janes: Jane Eyre, Jane Austen, and Lady Jane Grey. Queen Jane Grey. 9 days. Anyways, originally I've always loved the name Persephone, so maybe Persephone, but I actually thought about naming her Persephone Grey, like in homage to these covers, but then I googled the name, and apparently there's always Google baby names before you name your kid. Apparently there's an online erotica writer named Persephone Grey, so that name was out. But yeah, I love these books. I'm on medication. This is going to be a weird video. Okay, next we have 2 books by my boyfriend, my beardy boyfriend, Wilkie Collins. I Say No, which is a Wilkie Collins I haven't heard of. When 18-year-old Emily Brown meets Francine Dessoir, the new girl from the West Indies, at her school, she finds herself telling her the story of her father's death. Then as Francine falls asleep, to Emily's dismay, the cold and imposing Miss Jethro comes into their room. I believe I knew him, states her schoolmistress, and so begins Emily's desperate search to solve the mystery of how her father died 4 years previously. So there's going to be lies, there's going to be a terrible secret that Miss Jethro holds, what took place at the Hand in Hand Inn, and why had the Rooks decided to close the inn forever. Who was the man who owned the linen with the initials JB? So this is going to be classic Wilkie Collins, suspense, sensational novel. And then the other Wilkie Collins is Blind Love, and I love these Dover classics. I grab them whenever I can. Whenever I can. They're just so the covers are just so dramatic and awesome. I just love it. And I love the font. It's very old-fashioned. I don't know. I just love it. It just suits the text. It suits the subject. So, okay, Blind Love. Oh, let's see here. Blind Love is an unjustly neglected work of Collins' later period. Filled with typical Collins romance and high adventure, the tale ranges from rural Ireland through the teeming streets of London to a sleepy village in Belgium. It is the story of a secret society of Irish rebels, of sinister plots, of revenge and bloody murder and loyalty unto death. Above all, it is sometimes disturbing, sometimes humorous, frequently moving story of the blind love of Iris Henley for the notorious Lord Harry Norland, and the trap into which her unwavering devotion gradually and inexorably leads her. Okay, so, and this is based on a real-life criminal case. So, that sounds good. As often with Wilkie Collins, I love the plot, I love the sensation, the high emotions, but I have a feeling our heroine is going to drive me crazy because she's going to be really stupid, and I'll still root for her. This lady's got to stick together. So those are my half-price books. Hauls from Texas. Okay. We pause for this tea break. Alright, next we have some books that were sent to me from the wonderful Oxford University Press cloth-bound classics. They sent me Sense and Sensibility, Crime and Punishment, War and Peace, and Anna Karenina, or whatever. So, I was really excited to get these, and I almost didn't get them because they had my old address, and so they sent it to my old apartment. I mean, I just moved, but my old address from 3 years ago, and they sent it to my apartment, and luckily the person in the apartment had no interest in stealing ginormous cloth-bound classics and brought it to the leasing office, and they called me, and I was able to come pick them up. So I have since sent them my new address. And this haul is particularly exciting because in April, stay tuned, we are going to have Anna in April, and we're going to read Anna Karenina together. I was thinking of dividing up this giant novel into 5 parts, but actually I think I'm going to divide it into 4 weeks of reading, because there are 8 sections, so you can read 2 sections each week. And so look for a video with more details on Anna in April. That will be coming up, I think, in early February. I'll do video just so people can prep, get this book if they want to read out of the same one, and decide if they want to do it. I like knowing about readathons or read-alongs way ahead of time so I can like adjust my envisioned TBR and make sure that I leave room for it. Okay, next we have a very small Christmas haul. My mom and dad got me a Barnes & Noble gift card, which I will be spending this weekend. My husband are going out for our wedding anniversary. Today's our 8th wedding anniversary. Oh, so we'll be going out this weekend, and I will be burning up that gift card. But she also got me 2 books, because my mom knows me. She got me The Art of Slow Writing by Louise DeSalvo. And this is just like a writing guide. It looks like it talks about writing slowly, exploring your creative process, uses examples from classic American and international writers. It's a meditative approach to writing, and I thought that would be really great. So, because I don't have much time, and so any writing I do is slow writing, whether intentional or not. Next, my mom got me Allie Smith's Autumn, which I'm very... Oh, that cover's lovely. I'm very excited about. And when winter comes out in a paperback form, I will get it as well. So, lots of people have been talking about Autumn, so I won't go over it with you. It's supposed to be beautiful and playful, and it's this whole series, a quartet of books, one on each season. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, I will need to own them all so they can all sit lovely on my shelf all lined up. Okay, last little bit of a haul. When I was moving in December, I got together a rather large bag of books to get rid of. And I took them to Second and Charles, which is a kind of like half-price books, and then it's like a chain of used bookstores. They have some new stuff, but mostly used. And I gave them like 30 books, and then I brought home with me 6. So when I came home, my husband's like, I thought you were getting rid of books because we're moving. I was like, well, yes. Got rid of like 25, 30 books, and I brought home 6. So I did get rid of, 20 plus books, right? Right. Okay, so. Oh my God, my throat hurts. Okay. First, I was very excited to find The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher and Other Stories, short stories by Hilary Mantel. I love Hilary Mantel. I cannot wait for that last Wolf Hall book to be written. I actually have like anxious dreams that she's going to die or something horrible will happen and we will never have the last book to that trilogy. It's probably a selfish thing to think, but whatever. I really want her to finish writing that book. And I love her writing. And so I was excited. I'm wanting to get back into reading more short stories. I love short stories. And so I've been going to focus a little on picking up and collecting more short story collections this year. And so I'm excited about this. It talks about rascally intelligence, stories of dislocation and family fracture, of casual infidelities and sudden deaths with sinister causes, brilliantly unsettle the reader in that unmistakable Mantel way. So, she writes about marriage, class, family, and sex, unpredictable, diverse, and sometimes shocking. So, I'm excited about this. She is a brilliant writer, and this is going to be good. Oh, and I just realized this would be a great collection for 24-hour readathon because it's not that big. It is, let's see here. A little less than 300 pages, but the font is quite large, especially if you compare it to that Dover Classic book. So that might be a good. I like to pick up short stories during readathons. Okay, next I got Dragonwyck by Anya Seton, and I went to collect all of these. They have a whole set of paperbacks that go together. I have this one, and I have Catherine, and I went to get them all because I'm a sucker for a beautiful book. And a beautiful book in a set, even more so. So let's see here. You may have seen, I believe there was a film. But right now I'm wondering if I'm confusing it with something else. So ignore that. Okay, in the spring of 1844, the Wells family receives a letter from a distant relative, the wealthy Landover Nicholas Van Ryn. He invites one of their daughters for an extended visit to his Hudson Valley estate, Dragonwyck. 18-year-old Miranda, bored with the local suitors and her commonplace life on the farm, leaps at the chance for escape. She immediately falls under the spell of Nicholas and his mansion, mesmerized by its Gothic towers, flowering gardens, and luxurious lifestyle, unaware of the dark and terrible secrets that await. So, this will be good. This will be a fun kind of like dramatic read. So I like this. And then I was really excited to find a Virago title and Virago Modern Classic there. I hate that they put the stickers on there. They don't come off all the way. It bothers me. Okay, and this one is the Mrs Maylie by E.H. Young. I cannot speak today. There are 4 Mrs. Mallet. Caroline and Sophia are large, jolly spinsters with recollections of a past glamour to sustain them as the years slip by. Then there is beautiful Rose, much younger than her stepsister. She calmly awaits the event or the man that will take her from their life of small social successes in the city of Radstow. But she is independent and fastidious. No man, not even the eligible Francis Scales, can entirely capture her heart. The 4th Miss Mallet is Henrietta, who comes to share the conventional home of her 3 aunts. With her Aunt Rose's beauty and her own willful spirit, she devotes her energies to eluding spinsterhood. So it sounds like it'll be a fun kind of Jane Austen-esque novel. We'll see. Sometimes, when people write about spinsters, I get a little, but I think it's going to be cheeky. So that'll be good. Next is we have a book that is on my January TBR, and I'm almost done with the poetry collection I'm reading, so I'll probably pick up this book late this week or early next week. This is Ken Liu's The Paper Menagerie, short stories, and I talked about it in my January TBR video, so I won't spend all the time on it. But this book popped out to me on the shelves because it was like new, and it is so beautifully textured and illustrated. I was like holding it in my hands like, what is this book? Oh, it's this author that I've heard of. But it was just like, I was like, oh, this is nice to hold. Like, I love good paper and good design. I'm a sucker for it. Next, we have 2 small Susan Hill books in these classic Penguin editions. The first is I'm King of the Castle, and this has been one that I've been wanting to read. Oh God, that print is so tiny, but I'll put my reading glasses on and make it work. Let's see here. This is the winner of the Somerset Maugham Award. So people are coming today, said Mr. Hopper. Now you will have a companion. But his son Edmund did not want any other boy in the ugly, isolated Victorian house. It was his house. He was king there. But King Shaw still came, with his bright, genteel mother. Hooper hated him. He was an intruder to be subtly persecuted. Hooper learned fast how to turn the most ordinary object into a source of terror. Like a frightened animal, King Shaw ran. In Hangwood, their roles were briefly reversed, but King Shaw could not win, not in the last resort. He knew it, and so did Hooper. The worst was still to come. So this looks like it's going to scare me. Susan Hill always scares me. The Woman in Black was very scary, but the man in the picture gave me freaking nightmares. And Dolly, don't even get me started on like creepy like dolls. No. So I think this is going to scare me, even though it doesn't sound quite supernatural. It sounds like a sort of humans as monsters. We'll see. That'll be a good one. And lastly, a short story collection from Susan Hill. A bit of singing and dancing. Short stories. It doesn't really tell me much by the back. It just says remarkable. Okay. Thank you, Times Literary Supplement. It's remarkable. In this collection of short stories, Susan Hill takes us into the minds of the very young and the very old and makes their predicaments extraordinarily compelling. So it doesn't tell me much, but sometimes going into a short story collection, that may be a good thing. I don't really know anything about this except I really like Susan Hill's writing, and isn't this a cool little penguin book? So that's my haul for November and December. Like I said, I only purchased maybe half of these. The other half were gifts or given to me. I will be doing a small haul for January because, like I said, I have that Barnes & Noble gift card that's burning a hole in my pocket, and I have some more books to take into Second and Charles. So I will report back. I hope you found some titles in here that maybe you want to pick up or add to your Goodreads or look for. And if there are any of these that you have read that you recommend starting with, or you want to talk about, or you want to do a buddy read, let me know. And we'll make it work. All right. Thanks, you guys, for enjoying my I don't know if you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this. But thank you for enduring my long, rambly, gravelly voiced video. And yeah, have a great day. Happy reading.